Definitely a SmackDown to smile about tonight. Really good show. I thoroughly enjoyed it. They highlighted new talents, but... Whoa! This is things you might have missed from Friday Night SmackDown. Before we get started, please make sure you've liked the video. It really does help the videos on YouTube. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Now, it was the Queen, Charlotte Flair, who started off SmackDown this week. And she did reference the drama of last week with Becky Lynch. Kind of shocked at that, considering WWE edited it all out of replays, YouTube, etc. So that's kind of shocking. But it didn't take long again for the boss, Sasha Banks, to come down to the ring. And Sasha Banks challenging Charlotte, but it ended up being Shotzi that came down, said to Charlotte, hey, you want to face someone you never faced before? Face me. And the match was made. However, after Sasha did kind of distract Shotzi, Shotzi snapped a heel turn, which was actually really good. And you know what? WWE, credit to you, because Shotzi's a great talent. Putting her in a match with Charlotte Flair is not a bad thing. Putting her in a rivalry with Sasha Banks, that's going to be good.
We interrupt this broadcast for an important message from Firefly Funhouse News.
Newsbreak.
Oh wow, that's old school, isn't it? So this news actually broke during SmackDown from Kyle Scarborough. The picture on the right is Huskus the Pig Boy, a representation of if Bray Wyatt played Huskus. We remember seeing the half mask that Bray tweeted out. Well, it turns out there was an idea to bring the Firefly Funhouse puppets to life. And apparently it would only happen if Bray was playing the physical representation of the puppets. We had a trick or street fight on SmackDown this week, which was really enjoyable. Of course, there was a big container of apples. And yep, you guessed it, Riddick Moss. This was your fate. How do you botch this? You literally saw him putting the apple into his mouth. I've been to Halloween parties before. I know for a fact that is cheating. So kids, if you're at Halloween party this weekend, don't do that. Maybe we should storyline it or something and say, you know, maybe he cheated at apple bobbing. You dastardly hill. But nonetheless, the visual did work. It was still a fun moment. And this match had everything. 24/7 championship competitors running around the ringside. Notice the Creed brothers literally stood there right in front of the screen. They actually appeared on SmackDown. We'll talk about them a little bit later on in the video because there's some really interesting Creed brothers news. Of course, with Nakamura in the match, we did get Pat McAfee dancing on the announce table once again, this time putting his foot on Michael Cole's shoulder. As Michael Cole said, you're probably going to break my shoulder. Pat, never changed, dude, never changed. But it ended up with two ghouls appearing out of nowhere, costing Boogs and Nakamura the match. And it turned out the ghouls was Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza, SmackDown's newest tag team. And I thought this was great. A great way to introduce them. All eyes were on that moment to see who these people were. And it got them over, I suppose. It got a cheer from the fans. Adam Pearce was at home this week, obviously still traumatized over ripping his trousers live on TV last week, suffering the F5 from Brock Lesnar. But he fined Brock $1 million. What? But the good news for Brock is that someone out there has offered to help him pay and at least loan him the money. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. But Paul Heyman was interested in the fine that Brock received. He actually seemed to be happy that Brock got the fine, not what we've seen previously. However, did you notice in the background, there was a guy behind Heyman the entire promo. He was behind a load of equipment. I've got no idea why, of all places, you would stand there. But he was. He kept moving, but he kept looking like he was peering over the box. And I just wonder, is this someone keeping an eye on Paul Heyman? Maybe Roman has sent one of the Usos or hired a, private investigator or something to keep an eye on Paul. People were saying Brock when I posted this on Twitter. I don't think it's Brock Lesnar. It's not really Brock's style. And no, I really don't think it's Abby the Witch. Sorry to disappoint you guys. Speaking of Brock, Drew McIntyre actually beat Mustafa Ali this week with Brock Lesnar's Kimura luck. So could they be setting up Drew versus Brock? That could be fun. But it was after the match that WWE seemingly revived a very controversial storyline. And I don't know if fans were completely happy with it. I don't even know if Mustafa Ali was completely happy with it. Mustafa Ali taking the microphone after the loss and saying the only reason you cheered Drew McIntyre and you don't like me is because my name is Mustafa. Clearly a racism-styled storyline. And it's kind of awkward because you're calling your fan base racist. And I don't know if this is a look that WWE should be going for. This is a major cultural issue. And yes, of course, there are people in this world that are racist. But to call other people who aren't racist, kind of a little bit insulting. Personally, I've loved Mustafa Ali. I said when he joined Retribution, the guy should have been pushed to the World Championship. And I know a few of you definitely agree with me on that. And to sort of lump us in with that kind of does insult fans in a way. However, as I said, this is a major cultural issue, and WWE have done this for decades. They blur the lines between reality and storyline for entertainment. And at the same time, with this kind of storyline, you hope they're going to use it to educate. And if they can do that, that'd be pretty good. We got news that P.T. Williams, former Impact Wrestling legend, X Division champion P.T. Williams, was backstage at SmackDown tonight. He was there basically doing a tryout to be a producer. Not only him, but Jimmy Wang Yang. Who remembers Jimmy Wang Yang? Let me know in the comments below, because I love this dude. He's also now got a full-time job as a producer backstage at WWE for SmackDown, and I love that. Bringing in new people to book your matches means the matches will feel very different. And in fact, hopefully improve the show, which is exactly what WWE needs. It's what fans have been calling for months. Now, before SmackDown, former NXT Women's Champion Raquel Gonzalez had a match with Toni Storm. A dark match, probably with people like Vince McMahon getting eyes on Raquel. And so did the Creed brothers. The Creed brothers faced off against the Viking Raiders, which is a hell of a match. But they also, as we said, appeared on SmackDown. So that's very, very interesting. And the fact they're there, the fact they actually made TV as well, maybe we could be seeing some call-ups again from NXT very, very soon. Presumably for the blue brand. And if you haven't seen the Creed brothers wrestle yet, just go onto YouTube, go on the network, search for the Creed brothers, watch a few of their matches. These guys are really good. The main event of SmackDown saw the New Day defeat the Usos. So it looks like New Day could be in line for a tag team title match, but it was the setup for this match that interested me most. Of course, King Woods, knighting Kofi Kingston, giving him a new pin. I love that. Gold unicorn style. I bet you any money that's on WWE Shop very, very soon. But time for partying for the King and the King's man. Is that what they called Kofi? I don't know. Was not long-lived because the Usos, came out challenging them. And I love this. These two teams are faced off forever. And it's always good when they do. It makes sense because they always want to try and one-up each other. So you've got that sportsmanship to a match that they do. And the match itself was really good. Weird to see a SmackDown without Roman Reigns. However, with SmackDown airing this week on FS1, it does make sense if you're going to give Roman a night off. It would be tonight for sure. But still a very fun, very enjoyable, very good edition of SmackDown tonight. They seemingly are getting behind a lot of new people on the blue brand, and that's exactly what the show should focus on. Small cameo appearances by people like the Hit Row faction is just enough, so they're not saturating the TV product, so we don't get bored of them very quickly, but we're reminded that they are there, so that's always fun. I overall think the show was a very solid 7.5 out of 10. I think it delivered. Did lack Roman Reigns a little bit. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the video, share the video, and if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Follow me over on Twitter at CWrestlingUK, and I'll see you next time. Peace!